Let's break down that fight real quick.
Let's go.
And all the love to the Morataya team, Coach Robert and his dad, everybody else.
Yeah.
Come on, man. This fight was very one-sided.
Oh yeah.
I don't like when fighters are like, come on, man, you know what I can do. How did you not know this was going to be so one-sided? Well, let me remind y'all out there that my job as a boxing analyst, my job as a sports analyst, is to get you excited about what's going to happen. If I had told y'all that this joint was going to be one-sided, would you have tuned in?
Yeah, they would have.
They would have tuned in for it?
Yeah. Because, yes, 100%.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think you're right. But did I touch anybody and make them feel like, hell, this is a can't miss?
What do you mean? Like,
Well,
did you make it feel that way?
Yeah,
with your
you know what I mean?
breakdown? Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, my point, that my job is to make this a can't miss fight. My job is not to give you any feeling that, oh, well, you know, I'll catch the replay. No, I want you to catch this live in color in person if you can. And, you know, that's my disclaimer to a lot of people out there that might think that I'm over analyzing or that I'm not giving the credit where it's due when it comes to a Shakur Stevenson. I told y'all a long ass time ago, I saw him spar two different guys or two different styles and literally made both guys look the same.
And shut them down. We
That's-
said within a minute, both.
Both of them.
Right.
That's what you consider special.
Right.
Where you can make two dudes that are completely different look like identical twins. That's the guy that, and I wasn't surprised that he did that because I know he has the ability to do that. There just wasn't the answer. And I just thought that there should have been at this level, there should have been an answer at this level.
Yeah, the level of which he exposed Teofimo's flaws was crazy. I mean, he made Teofimo fight southpaw for stretches of the fight. And Teo isn't one of these guys that fights both stances.
Right.
He made him fall short, and impressively enough, not needing to get out of range, but really just a half step back and making him fall well short, hit nothing but air. And then Teo, after a while, got so used to falling short with his right hand, which is the southpaw killer, he said, I'm just going to have to stay southpaw sometimes because I don't have enough time to get back in position. So, yeah, I said about when Terrence did what he did with Canelo last September that young fighters would study that performance. They will study this one, too. And Bomac, Brian McIntyre, said that after the fight. When it comes to distance control, and this is what all the pros in the gyms told me, you've said about him for years. You know, I had Angelo Leo on my channel break it down, Bruce Carrington, a lot of guys just explaining his mastery of distance and timing. And, you know, you saw that on full display. I thought defensively this was the best performance since Mayweather-Canelo on the defensive end in terms of just totally shutting down an elite level fighter in a lineal legit championship fight. So yeah, that's
happened to catch the number of how many times he got hit in this fight.
Shakur?
Yeah.
It was at about 15%. He landed around 45%. He came into the fight with, I believe, the widest discrepancy between percentage landed on him versus his accuracy, and that held up in this fight as well. I thought Teo would have a better chance getting Shakur to come to him, but it really didn't matter whether Shakur was walking him down or whether Shakur was taking a step back. His resets were, you know, just what's a good word for it that does it justice.
That his ability to control that tempo.
Yeah.
And
not have to really get it that far out
where
of
the
range.
fight dictating the pace, where the fight happens at, and all those other small nuances that Shakur possesses. It's a great question. I don't know. I just think impeccable. I just think that the other side of that is, you know, Gordo just wasn't ready enough. You know, Shakur is one of those guys out there that you don't really understand until you're standing in front of it, and you have to realize that speed and that tenacity that he had, that look, that feeling and he doesn't give tells. There's no signs that he's going to throw a punch. Punch just simply comes.
So Sergio Mora was saying that on the broadcast. There's no telegraph. It just goes point A to point B.
Yep.
And that's that. Yeah, straight down the center.
I'm telling you, like, guys like me and Sergio are, like, kind of envious of that. You know what I mean? Like, as good as we were, we didn't have that. And there's just something about being able to just loosely, confidently throw that jab and land it. You know what I mean? Loosely, confidently take those little short steps back and come this far away from that punch. Now, this kid you can classify as either a snake or a mongoose. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Coach Berry described him as a mongoose. Just being able to really just snap on target, on point. And then every time you come at me, I'm just enough out of the way to make you feel like I have to be here. It's not time for me to run yet, but I'm right in distance that I might have a chance to get you. You know, Coach Berry has described Shakur Stevenson as a mongoose. He told me to watch a mongoose versus a cobra. When he told me that, I laughed and I watched it, and I couldn't, like, I was scratching my head like, I can't believe I'm about to watch this. And then I marveled at it because I saw exactly what Coach Berry was talking about when he talks about Shakur Stevenson. Just like I said before, it's like he stays 2 steps ahead. It's like he's been there before, even though we know it's impossible for him to have been there before. He just knows what's coming every single time. It would be different if he was guessing. That's what makes him scary. He's never guessing. Never say never, but the kid's never guessing.
Yeah, and his balance was great. I mean, it always is, but it was great in this fight.
Yeah. I watched his feet, too.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off, but I watched his feet specifically because we were talking about how agile he might need to be against Gordo, and he to me was just as agile as he needed to be. Wasn't a lot of movement. We already knew that he's not a mover back and forth. You know, he's not gonna a whole bunch of sporadic movement. Just enough movement to make you feel like you might get him, but you won't. Just like a mongoose.
Right. Yeah. Super efficient.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like what LeBron had that streak where he scored 30 points on 10 shot attempts. He had that streak in Miami. It was kind of like that, but. Emmanuel Stewart and Joe Louis both said that balance is the secret to a great fighter. And he was just so much more on balance at all times against Teofimo Lopez. But fought him still with all his athleticism there. And, I mean, just dominated him. No, go ahead, Sean, and then we'll get into it. But, yeah. No, go ahead.
It's on me, it's on you.
What?
It's on you.
What?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I thought you had more to give for a second before we. Because I got a whole. The problem is, if they could show, I got a whole laundry list of notes of what he did great, you know, but I know on our show we only got a couple minutes. I mean,
right. The other side of that is so here's the thing. The conversation with with Keyshawn Davis is, could he have gotten Jermaine Ortiz out of there sooner? The answer to me is no. Mm-hmm. Reason being is I felt like he was in position and did what he was supposed to do every single round. He finally caught that one shot, and that one shot led to another opportunity for that same shot. That's all she wrote. Mm-hmm. Same thing here with Shakur Stevenson. You got a lot of people that I was told saying, well, he left food on his plate. And I'm like, I get it. What we can want more of from Shakur, or what we should demand more of, I guess, for the sake of words, is more offense. But when you are who you are, and you are this, I'm this steel shield. I'm a knight in armor, and there's nothing that you can do to penetrate it. It is what it is, you know. So I know you mentioned that you thought that more offense is what we needed.
It was, again, I mean, with this win, you know, I want to make it very clear.
And numbers don't lie.
Right. Well, I'll get to it. But I mean, he's now top 5 pound for pound. If you want to even have him top 3, because he's done it in more weight classes than Bivol. He has a better resume than Bam Rodriguez. Yeah. But, you know, I think he's definitely top 5. And if you want to make him top 3, I'm not mad at that either.
Yeah.
He's now a Hall of Famer at 28.
Nice.
4 division champion. and his only guy who did it quicker was Oscar De La Hoya. Maybe one other fighter I can't remember, but Adrian Broner. But Broner was never considered the lineal champion in any. He was the number one guy at lightweight at one point with the WBC, but Shakur has been unified at 130. He beat the man in dominant fashion in his first fight at 140. So, but I did see people talking about, shout out to Max Kellerman, but saying hang it in the Louvre. That was prime Floyd. That was prime Pernell Whitaker. I saw, Todd Grisham, shout out to him too, on the call saying is even better than Terrence Crawford. And it's like, Terrence Crawford, I would just say it was a masterpiece and it was a master class. He outclassed a hell of a fighter in Teofimo Lopez. And before I get into it, look, Teo still had enough reflexes and he's a great counterpuncher that maybe you can only get but so zealous with what you're doing when you're already controlling him completely, right? But I think I had like,
I like that though, a master class, not a masterpiece. I like that.
Well, some of the fights that came to mind for me when I really think of a complete masterpiece, defense, offense, counterpunching, Andre Ward against Sergey Kovalev 2, Andre Ward against Chad Dawson, Floyd Mayweather against Chico Corrales, Inoue against Fulton, Bernard Hopkins against Felix Trinidad, and even in where they don't stop their opponent or even drop them, like Floyd and Terrence against Canelo, they both threw over 500 punches in the fight.
There's a quality of that part of the game that everybody needs to have, and it's offense. That's what all those fights had. That quality of offense that matches the quality of defense.
Well, yeah. So Terrence, he threw a number of combinations against Canelo. He hurt him multiple times. I think in the 11th round and 10 seconds left, this is how closely I studied the fight and watched it multiple times. So he nailed Teo, knocked his head straight back he covered up for a few shots from Teo, and then Teo tried to pull out of range. And then in the 4th round, nice pivot, sweeping left hand to the body, got Teo off balance. So he landed some hard shots, but he was saying in the corner, I'm stronger than him and I'm going to stop him. And to his coach, Wally Moses, shout out to him, who, thoroughly outcoached Teofimo Lopez Sr., has obviously his mark of building Shakur from scratch. Terrence and Andre and his mentors get a lot of praise, but we got to give flowers to Wally Moses. Zaquin Moses has a lot of Zaquin fights a lot like Shakur, and so that's the imprint of Wally in there. So, but ultimately he landed 5 power shots around. He threw 372 punches in the fight. If you got Lopez flailing out of position over and over again, I'm holding him to the caliber of the guys he is rightfully being compared to right now, the best of the best. And if we're going to call it a complete masterpiece, again, Crawford, Spence, Hopkins, Trinidad. Hopkins threw 639 punches in that fight. Crawford threw as many punches in 9 rounds, knocking out Spence, dropped him 3 times. That's a part of the sport too. And I saw Shannon Sharp kind of getting lit up, and it's like, hey, Keyshawn and Bruce Carrington went on Shannon Sharp after he said what he said. So he's given the sport some mainstream coverage that it doesn't really get a lot. And Shannon admitted that, conceded he's a great fighder for sure when he said what he said. So I think it was a brilliant performance, no doubt about it, a masterclass. And again, the highest compliment I could give is young fighters will study it and learn from it.
Right.
But there is, if we're talking about a complete masterpiece,
and we'll end this.
Well, anyway, what I was going to say too about the grandfather, he said, "Push the pace." I got a quotes in my notes. He said, "It's paramount that we push the pace." And heading into the fight, he said, "Teo doesn't have a good ticker." What I'm saying is, his positioning was so good. He made Teofimo out of position so many times that I think if he stepped it up, he either could have maybe stopped Teofimo or been that much more prolific. But as it stands, I mean, I don't want to nitpick too much on an 11-1 against in his prime lineal champion. It was very impressive.
And and I'll end it with this. It was a thought that I had because I was having a conversation. I'm not remembering that thought anymore. But I will end it with this. We Coach Barry, shout out to Coach Barry Hunter down there in DC. He has alluded to the analogy of Shakur Stevenson being a mongoose. You take a look at a mongoose and a snake. More times than not, the mongoose walks away with the snake in his mouth. And I think that for anything, if anything, that's where Shakur needs to go. He needs to get to a point where he can walk away with that prey in his mouth after the fight. Amazing performance. The blueprint that no one more than likely will be able to figure out for a very long time. But at the same time, as always, we always have more work to do. And I think him improving on his offense, finding out ways to implement more offense into his game, become more dangerous weapon than he already is, not, that's, to me, it's not a big ask, and again, just the analogy of, hey, this was what I had, and we'll end it with this right here. For a boxer, the ultimate win for a boxer is not having your hand raised. You would thought it was having your hand raised, right?
I think I know what you're getting at. Go ahead. Yeah.
I want you to do some interviews and find out if I'm right.
Is it emptying the tank?
No, I want you to do some interviews and find out if I'm right when I say this.
Yeah.
I think the ultimate win for a fighter is truly submitting, making his opponent submit. Mm-hmm. If I knocked you out, knocked you down, boom, done. There's nothing you can do. You can't get up. If I make you quit on your stool, that's better than me standing in the middle of the ring after the fight, get my hand raised. That moment of me seeing you helpless, powerless, admitting defeat, not getting off the stool, or in the ring, if I see moments where I see you quit, I'm coming to get you because I'm about to make you quit. To me, that's the ultimate win. And I think that there were people that felt like Shakur had that in him and he did not do that. And I think if anything moving forward, let's see how many of these guys you can make submit to you, big dog.
Yeah, winning ain't bad though.
No, not at all. Not at all.